is, I never heard of this organization before my son introduced me over the past few years. Quietly and under the radar, Keren, Ezer has funded over $500,000 in therapy for our youth in the Sephardic community dealing with mental health issues, including severe anxiety, depression, sexual abuse, molestation, thoughts of suicide, and so many other mental issues. And they do it confidentially, under the radar. Rui Cantor, who's director of the Keren Ezer Lenefesh, calls mental health cancer of the soul. Thought about this. If somebody in our community, God forbid, had cancer, the next day there would be Tehillim chats with thousands of people praying for this person. If, God forbid, someone was molested, abused, or otherwise was suffering, nobody would ever know. No Tehillim chat would ever happen, and no prayers would say to eliminate his or her suffering. Today in the Jewish world, in our Sephardic community, mental health amongst the youth has become a major crisis. Our youth and children are suffering and very much pain. It's happening in the mainstream, and it's happening in the religious world.
I myself could personally testify that without breaching confidentiality, as we heard, it's been quite a few years. Just principals in the community and mechanchim in the community have sent difficult cases to me for consultation. I'm not a clinician, but I've guided so many of them to different places where they could get help. The community, like many other communities, is hurting and really struggling with this terrible disease, like we just heard mentioned, cancer of the neshama. What lack of funding allows to continue to fester, it becomes alo samod al dam reyecha. Standing back and not doing our utmost is a form of lo samod al dam reyecha. Why do we have to become acquainted firsthand with the difficulties? Maybe if we'll be noseh ba'ol, maybe if we'll share the burden with another Jew before chas v'shalom it affects us and our families, it'll be a shemirah that it won't happen to us and our families.
There's 53 widows and agunot in our community. 53 widows and agunot in our community that I know of. And they all got cards for Pesach. And Rabbi Ozeri gave them food for Pesach. And someone else gave them something else for Pesach. But one of these single mothers came to us 2 weeks ago. 8 children, trauma, father, whatever happened to him. And 3 of the children need therapy. Average therapy for a year is $10,000. So great, we paid for her clothing, we paid for her food. Who's paying for their therapist? So what do? Who's taking care of this $30,000 of this single lady that everyone took care of her food and this and that? She can't say, hey, I got 3 kids in therapy and 1 kid in rehab. She's not announcing that. Who's taking care of that? That's where Ezer Lenefesh comes in.
I want to describe what needs to be done and how Keren Ezer Lenefesh plays a role in that. And a spoiler alert, it's a mission-critical service. This is not a small matter. The overall trends are that we are seeing a decreasing number of people who are flourishing in America. We are seeing the majority of people, the statistical majority of people today are languishing. There are a hugely increasing number of people who are distressed, and the severity of those who are in severe distress is mamish sakanas nefashos. It's literally life and death. Rav Berliner and Rav Cantor, they know what they're good at. They know also what's beyond the scope. Most of the people who they help, I understand, are in the distressed category. They need additional support. They need once-a-week therapy. They might need a psychiatrist. They need mentorship. So their program links up therapists with mentors in the school system. It's a brilliant, cheap way of dealing with a potentially extremely expensive problem.
We have to support it. That's what we have to do. We have to support those technicians, those organizations that are out there to help. This is an organization that's helping teenagers at risk. It's not a stigma anymore. How can we be there for them? By helping an organization like Keren Lenefesh. We can't do it. We are not the professionals. What we can do is we can support them. That is our job.
The need in the community is tremendous and the world is tremendous, and as well, the lack of funding really holds people back from getting the help that they need. I stand here today to reach out to you, to tell you that we can't do it without your support. and there's so many children that need the funding in the community, and if they would just have the funding, it would change so many things.
Helping this organization is a tremendous chesed, but you're also helping Torah and Avodah. People can't go to shul, people can't pray, people can't go to school if they're not taken care of emotionally. You have no idea what kind of zechut. The more money you give, the more you're going to get for your buck.